Now, another thing we have to look at is the fact that we're dealing with folks, and one of our challenges is behavior. Remember earlier I talked about personality. Personality is different than behavior. Personality is what you will always be, what you are. However, behavior is always learned. Believe it or not, the job description is a behavior. Being a parts advisor, service advisor, technician, manager, that's a learned behavior. Okay? And what's interesting is you have many different behaviors you use under different circumstances. Now, one of our challenges is with behavior is to get people to repeat behavior. Be a great tech, service advisor, parts advisor, things of this nature. And one of the things we're going to look at first is behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. Now let's talk about these types of reward. I'm going to use an unusual example. It's from here locally. Anyone here has not been to SeaWorld? David, Carlos, oh my, you guys got to go to SeaWorld. Baby Shamu, grandbaby Shamu. It's a hoot. I think SeaWorld's an absolute hoot. Now, think about this. They have these giant killer whales doing these tricks. These are big critters. I mean, they're huge beasts, weigh a couple of tons or more. Doing these really neat tricks. Splashing people on purpose and jumping out of the water. Now think about what they have to go through to set this up. Look, this is neat. They go out in the ocean, let's say, and they need a new whale for their act. Don't have any babies coming up, they're not old enough yet and stuff. So they got a crap killer whale and they put it in a big old 3 to 5 million gallon tank. It's huge. And they let it adapt to its environment. It takes about a week or more. Eating regularly, is just kind of hanging out in the tank. And let's say they want to teach it to do a trick where, this is a neat trick. They'll get on a ladder with a stick over the water, and they're about 12 feet up. And then this killer whale just comes shooting out of the water. Very, very different from that trick. Well, what they do is a group of them kind of get around the tank, different areas of the tank, with a bucket of fish. They throw this stick out in the water, let it settle on the bottom. And after a while, the whale becomes curious about the stick, and it just kind of cruises over it. Who's ever closest throws a fish in the water. The whale goes over and eats the fish. Doesn't really think anything about it. They said they could take anywhere from 1 to 2 days, and all of a sudden the whale starts to notice, this is great. Every time I cruise over the stick, it's a good deal. I get some fish. This is a good deal. I think I'll start doing it on purpose. When they know it's doing it on purpose, they actually start the training. Because going to SeaWorld is kind of expensive. I think it's about $35, $40 a person, and you're not going to go there to watch some whale in the water swimming over a stick. So what they do is they raise the stick up under the water. Boink, fish, good deal. They keep going until they get it up really high. Whale sees it. What the heck? Boom! Clear out of the water, over, fish, and it's a good deal. And the coolest part is during the show, what happens every time a whale completes their trip? They get the fish, and what else? How do they do the attaboy? They pat them, they talk to them. Very cool, not any different than what we do when we're trying to encourage our folks. Give them a pat on the back, really appreciate the work you did. And they do it right after the trick is completed to reinforce the behavior. And that's really what we're talking about here. And it's kind of interesting to me how we're all basically critters on Earth. I mean, let's face it, we all have the same need. To be recognized, to be cared for, things of this nature. So that's one thing we're going to look at, making sure that we understand how to get behavior to be repeated through rewards. Now, another one is achievement and recognition are considered two of the strongest motivators. And making sure people know that they're doing a great job. So this is the balance of what we're going to experiment for a little while. Now, why don't we reward behavior and do achievement and recognition more? You know what? We talked about this a little earlier. Most managers agree, oh man, I don't have enough time to do that. But what do you always have time enough to do? Since I don't have enough time to let people know when they're doing a good job, what do I always have enough time to do?
Tell them when they're doing a bad job.
Let them know when they're messing up or doing a bad job. We always have time to do that. Now, why do you think that is?
You enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, way to go, Kimball. Yeah, I love honesty there. What else do it? But what else, really?
So that way they don't repeat doing it over and over, and try and you let them know, hey, you messed up, don't do it again.
Okay?
And keep our muscle fires.
It's a nasty cycle, isn't it? Now, part of the problem is different ideas about achievement and just not aware of alternatives. See, what you saw there with the whale example was they received a reward every time they progressed or improved. I call it praising progress. We're going to talk about that a little later. And so one of the challenges is our ability to praise progress, not wait till they learn the whole thing. I mean, truly think about this. It takes about a month or more to learn a new job. What if we could speed that up with praising progress? That's very real. And sometimes we're just not aware of different alternatives or different ways to let people know that they're meeting or exceeding our expectations. That's what we're talking about here. Our ability to spend more time with people who meet or exceed our expectations, and the idea of spending more time with them is going to let them know when they're doing a great job and when they're off target. Again, that balancing act I used when I talked about Mike Dinkins' coaching techniques. So what we're going to look at, for starts, is an easy solution. Just open your mouth. It's pretty neat. People like to know when they do a good job. Thanks for going out to that customer's car, show them how to check their oil. That was a good job reviewing the computer over the phone. Now, think about these examples. I appreciate all your effort in taking time to verify the customer's symptom on the test drive. Are these things that's expected of them? That's a part of their job? Did they meet their expectations if they did that? And they deserve to know that. Because remember what I said earlier, if they only know when they screw up after a while, that's all they're going to think of themselves as. Just a big messed up person that never does anything right, nobody appreciates me.